Entrepreneurs love working with AI companies, and we're constantly getting offers from companies that are creating AI avatars and voiceovers for the content we are creating. But if those companies are offering us access to avatars and voices that are very clearly based on celebrities or well known people, can that be a copyright infringement to us if we use that? Or are we clear because the company gave us permission to be using this? Let's talk to an IP and entertainment lawyer to find out more.
My name is Tony Iliakostas. I'm an adjunct professor of entertainment law and IP at New York Law School, and I have an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok account called The IP Professor that is dedicated to all things intellectual property.
Tony, we love seeing the growth of AI and how we can be using that as companies and brands to build up what we're doing. Some of the things that we're seeing in the AI space is getting digital avatars or digital voices so that we can create customized characters of ourselves or of our potential customers. But what happens if we start working with an AI company and we discover some of those avatars or the voices that they're creating are very clearly based off of celebrities like Taylor Swift, like Michael Scott from The Office? Is that something that we then are clear to use?
So the answer is going to be no. And I would caution anyone to think that those are free game, open for use to anyone. The concern in something like that is very likely, those AI platforms, those developers have basically found and scrubbed videos, tons of videos on the internet, and through whatever type of technology created voice adaptations of those characters or of those celebrities and entities and incorporated them into their app, their platform, so that everyone then can, basically freely use their voice. Now, I want to tell viewers rather, that, you need to tread lightly on something like this. And the only reason why is because I can tell you with an insanely high degree of certainty that celebrities are incredibly protective of their personality rights. Personality rights is something we really haven't covered a lot of on the channel with KM, but we may have alluded to it in some circumstance. But essentially, personality rights involve the use of one's name, image, or likeness for commercial use. It's been very well established that even someone's voice can be a part of someone's identity, part of their name, image, and likeness, to the point that there was a very iconic case involving Bette Midler, Midler versus Ford, where Ford, through an ad agency, wanted to use a song of Bette Midler, "Do You Want to Dance?" They went to her asking for permission to use her voice in the car campaign, the car commercial campaign. She denied permission, so instead, Ford's ad agency went to her backup singer, Ulla Hedwig, asked for her to recreate the song in Bette Midler's voice, and she did it, and then the commercial aired. And Bette Midler got wind of it. It was, as you would expect, hell hath no fury, I guess. Hellfire rained down, and she sued for personality right infringement, and she won. Very overwhelmingly. There's a very clear part of the California Civil Code, Section 3344, that explicitly says that the use of anyone's name, image, or likeness, including their voice, for commercial use can amount to a personality right infringement. And it's been well-established law ever since. This is from the early 90s. So in the same vein, if you're using a celebrity's voice to, let's say, create a digital avatar selling a product or a service, how is that any different than what happened almost 30 years ago with Midler versus Ford? It's exactly the same thing. And we've seen time and time again over the course of, the past year at least, tons of videos out there where celebrities' voices have been manipulated using AI, and it appears that they're saying something when in fact it's not true. The best example is when there was that song, Heart on My Sleeve, that released all over TikTok and Instagram that features Drake and The Weeknd. The thing, though, is that song was completely generated using artificial intelligence. Drake and The Weeknd never sang that song at all. So, and obviously Universal Music Group had to step in. They had to send down DMCA takedown notices. They really had to scrub all social media platforms to wipe out any use, any misappropriated use of those guys' name, image, and likenesses. In this case, more their likenesses, their voice. So very, very clearly a problem across the space with social media. So, and I would bet you any amount of money that, these developers, especially if they're trying to create some buzz and they don't really have a big following, I guarantee that they don't even have the money, and I'm sure they don't even have the time to go to celebrities to get certain permission to use their likeness in their app. Now, there are some services that have done that. Ironically enough, I keep getting ads, or I kept getting ads once upon a time for Speechify, though now I'm saying it. I bet my phone's hearing me, so I'll probably get them again. But Speechify at one point featured ads talking about how you could have Snoop Dogg narrate your book. So out of genuine curiosity, I messaged, is this officially licensed? Did you work on, is this authentically Snoop Dogg? They confirmed it was. And then sure enough, after that, Snoop Dogg did a bunch of different commercials for Speechify talking about how he was excited to partner with them. And you can now listen to books using his voice, his voiceover narration. And it's all, AI based, and it's very impressive technology. Now, that's something that is legal. Why? Because there was a license agreement. There was something that was brokered between the celebrity and the brand. So if you're ever in a position where an AI avatar app that you have never heard of before pops out of the woodworks and says, hey, you can actually make an ad campaign, or you could create videos using the voice of Lionel Richie, or you can use the voice of, Louis Armstrong, or you can use the voice of Lin-Manuel Miranda or Taylor Swift. Tread lightly, because I guarantee you they have used other means of copying their voices and using them on the platform. And that obviously, like I said, it clearly amounts to personality right infringement.
And of course, if you are looking at these different platforms, you want to make sure you're reading through the terms of service to make sure if you do something where you're using something you shouldn't be, it's not going to fall back on you as well. And you want to make sure everything has the proper licensure so that you do not end up in a sticky situation. And as always, if you have questions, if you're not sure, if you don't understand the terms of service, or if you're not sure it's properly licensed and you want to double check, your lawyer is your best friend. They will be able to guide you through this process and make sure that you are on the up and up when you are using this to create content for your social media, for your brand, for your website, or for commercialized use in ads that you are going to run. So drop your questions on this down below. Tony's coming back for upcoming episodes as we continue to help you navigate the journey of using AI inside of your business and the legal side of entrepreneurship. We've got a full playlist with Tony linked down below. And as always, you can reach out to Tony on his social media. Tony, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the IP Professor. And you can check out my entertainment law podcast called Unseen, with new episodes dropping every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Drop your questions down below. And as you see more things inside of the AI space that you have legal questions on, we want to make sure we're getting those answered for you. So drop the questions down below and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of entrepreneurship to make sure that you are being safe, respectful, responsible, and profitable inside of this space without having any legal issues. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.